You buy the same cup of coffee every morning. Same shop, same order. Then one day, it costs more. Not because the shop changed anything. The beans are the same, the cup is the same, the barista is the same. Somewhere between the country the coffee was grown in and the country you're standing in, something shifted. And it wasn't the coffee. It was the money in your pocket. Here's the part that sounds backwards. The headlines might be telling you inflation is cooling, central banks might be talking about stability, and your coffee still costs more. Both of those things can be true at the same time, because the price tag isn't the only thing that decides what something costs you. The value of your own currency, compared to everyone else's, is quietly doing half the work, and almost nobody explains that part. Hey, welcome back to Opulentia, the channel that breaks down the parts of money nobody bothered to explain to you. If you've ever felt like the economy is a language everyone else already speaks fluently, this is where you catch up. Hit subscribe if you want more of this, because today we're talking about the hidden tax almost every person on Earth pays, and almost nobody notices they're paying it. So what does it actually mean when people say a currency is strong or weak? It sounds like a report card. Strong equals good, weak equals bad. But a currency isn't graded, it's compared. And depending on which side of that comparison you're standing on, the exact same shift can either save you money or quietly drain it.
Think of every currency on Earth as a membership pass to a giant global marketplace. Every pass lets you buy things, but not all passes are treated equally at the counter. When your country's pass becomes more desirable because interest rates are higher there, or the economy looks safer, or investors just want to hold it, more people want that pass. And when more people want something, it gets more expensive to acquire. That's what a strong currency actually is, a membership pass that other people are suddenly willing to pay more to get their hands on. Here's the sequence of events that usually triggers it. A country's central bank raises interest rates, or its economy starts outperforming everyone else. That makes holding that currency more attractive. You earn more just by parking money there. So global investors start moving money in, selling other currencies to buy this one. That buying pressure pushes the currency's value up. Meanwhile, every other currency, just by comparison, gets a little cheaper. Not because anything changed in those countries, but because everyone's attention and capital moved somewhere else. Now here's where it gets personal. If you hold the currency that just got stronger, your membership pass now buys more at the counter. Imported goods, foreign travel, anything priced in another currency, all of it gets cheaper for you instantly without you doing anything.
But if you hold one of the currencies that just got weaker, and most of the world's currencies aren't the one getting stronger, the opposite happens. The same imported goods, the same foreign travel, the same debts owed in that stronger currency all get more expensive overnight, again, without you doing anything. That's the hidden tax. It's not collected by a government. It's collected by exchange rates, and it's paid by whoever happens to be holding the weaker pass when the shift happens. This isn't a hypothetical. It's happening right now, in real time, across the planet. In the middle of 2026, one major currency strengthened by roughly 2% against a basket of others in a single month. 2% might sound small, until you realize that's 2% added to the cost of every imported good, every dollar of foreign debt, every plane ticket abroad for anyone holding the weaker side of that trade. And it happened in a matter of weeks, not years.
Investors piled into that stronger currency at one of the fastest paces on record in the first half of the year. Tens of billions of dollars in new bets that it would keep climbing. That kind of momentum feeds itself. The more people expect a currency to strengthen, the more they buy it, the more it strengthens. On the other side of that trade, multiple national currencies hit record lows in the same window. Central banks in several economies responded the only way they could, by raising their own interest rates, specifically to make their currency more attractive again and slow the bleeding. But raising interest rates to defend a currency comes with its own cost. It makes borrowing more expensive at home, which slows down the exact economy you're trying to protect. There's no free move here, only trade-offs. And this doesn't stay in the financial markets. Research from the International Monetary Fund has repeatedly found that currency swings like this hit developing economies harder than wealthier ones, because developing economies more often owe debt priced in a stronger currency, and import essentials, fuel, food, medicine, priced the same way. So the tax lands hardest on the people with the least room to absorb it.
Translated into everyday terms, for a household in one of these economies, a swing like this can mean the same weekly grocery basket costing noticeably more within a single season, not because local shops raised prices out of greed, but because the imported components of that basket now cost more in the only currency the shop can pay its suppliers in. This is one illustrative pattern, not a single global number. The exact size of the hit depends entirely on how exposed a given economy is to imports and foreign debt. Meet Danny. Danny doesn't trade currencies, doesn't watch exchange rate charts, and would tell you they don't really follow the economy. Danny just runs a small online shop, buying inventory from overseas suppliers and selling locally. 6 months ago, Danny's supplier invoice for the same order of goods was one number. This month, ordering the exact same inventory in the exact same quantities, the invoice came in noticeably higher, even though the supplier didn't raise their prices at all. The supplier is being paid in a currency that got stronger. Danny is paying in a currency that got weaker. Nothing about Danny's business changed. The ground underneath it did.
Danny has two options, and both are uncomfortable. Eat the cost and shrink the margin, or raise prices and risk losing customers who don't understand why their usual purchase suddenly costs more either. Danny didn't do anything wrong. Danny just happened to be standing on the side of the trade that lost value. Here's what's important to sit with. This isn't random and it isn't personal. It's not that you failed to plan, or that you're bad with money, or that your country is somehow falling behind through mismanagement alone. Currency strength is a tug of war between economies, and by design, it always produces a winning side and a losing side at the same time. Somebody's membership pass has to get more expensive for somebody else's to get cheaper. That's not a flaw in the system. That's the entire mechanism. Understanding that doesn't make the tax disappear, but it does mean you stop blaming yourself for something that was never in your control to begin with, and that frees you up to actually respond to it instead of just absorbing it in silence.
So, what do you actually do with this? Start with one question. Which side of this tug of war is your money sitting on right now? If your income, your savings, and your spending are all in the same currency, you're fully exposed to whatever happens to that one currency's strength. That's not automatically bad, but it means you're carrying a risk you might not have noticed you were carrying. For anyone who earns, saves, or spends across more than one currency, even in small ways like buying anything imported regularly, it's worth knowing roughly how exposed you are. You don't need to become a currency trader. You just need to know, before a big purchase or a big expense abroad, whether the currency involved has been trending stronger or weaker lately, and time what you can accordingly. Awareness alone turns an invisible tax into a manageable, predictable cost.
So next time your coffee costs a little more for no reason anyone at the counter can explain, remember, it might not be the coffee. It might not even be your country. It might just be that somewhere on the other side of the planet, a different currency's membership pass got a little more expensive today, and yours, by comparison, got a little less powerful. That's not a mistake. That's just the system working exactly as designed. Now you know how to read it.